Hey, what is going on? If you're watching this, then that means you are here for the Faceless YouTube niche list recommendation that I have. A few things. Got my Pellegrino ready for this video. It's going to be a little bit of a long one. I'm going to go through a few things real quick, and then I'm going to go into each of the niches, and I'm going to really break them down. If you don't know who I am, my name is Devin Canup. I've been doing Faceless YouTube channels since 2019, and I've been doing YouTube since 2018, and I've made a couple $1 million off of Faceless YouTube channels. As you see behind me, I have a couple of plaques. I have a couple more on the way, actually, as of right now. I have ran upwards of 50 Faceless YouTube channels now at this point, and I have had, in my current Faceless Channel Academy, I have over 400 students, and then I have done other programs in the past. You can tally it up to be a combined total of probably about 3,000 people that have gone through different trainings and courses, like paid courses with me over the past while. And so this video is 100% free. I'm just giving it away. I've helped a lot of people get a lot of results. This is one of my best trainings that I've ever made. I know it's a lot of information I'm giving you up on the front, but I just wanted to at least kind of let you know where this is all coming from. And so let's jump into it. So this will be the best Faceless YouTube niches to make six figures with. It's not all going to be beginner friendly, but it's going to be a good mix of both. I recommend watching this entire video. If you're here just for the niches, you could totally skip to like the timestamps. I'll have them down at the bottom. But I recommend watching this entire thing. I'm going to kind of dump a lot of thoughts out while I'm doing this, so while it's kind of fresh and hot. And I want to make sure that you get all the value, especially if you're kind of new and trying to figure all this out. So real quick, just to kind of get this out of the way, if you want my team and I to help you build a successful Faceless YouTube channel, I'm going to have below this video, you can apply and book a call. But with that out of the way, before we dive in, every niche has its pros and cons. My goal is to give you awareness inside of this video. As Warren Buffett says, risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. And so I want to try to at least decrease the amount of risk that you have getting into something. So that way, at least you know what you're getting yourself into. Because far too often, after working with so many people on Faceless YouTube channels, I have seen that people kind of skip this kind of initial research, which that's kind of what the goal of this video is to break down what you're getting into with each niche specifically. Now, no way, shape, or form, like if you've been doing Faceless YouTube, is there going to be some crazy, new, exciting stuff you've never seen before? Maybe, probably not. For beginners, this is pretty comprehensive. You guys are going to be like, wow, this is insane. But my goal, like I said, is to give you guys awareness from what I've seen of having so many students, of having so many people jump into so many of these different niches. And then also, I'm going to really recommend and advise for you guys to sub-niche things down. I'm going to give you guys the general niche. I'm going to kind of like blanket statement stuff, but please don't blanket a niche. Like, for example, I'm going to go over sports as one of them. Don't just do a sports channel. Do a basketball channel. And more specifically, because there's a lot of basketball channels, you want to do like a basketball player biography channel. So you want something significantly more specific. This will all kind of make sense a lot more once we get a little bit more into it. And let me just make sure I have my audio settings correctly so I don't have to re-record all of this. Okay, it looks like everything should be good. I am optimizing for you getting to $10,000 a month in a guaranteed fashion. So I'm going to skip over some niches that aren't even on this list that might be a great niche, but this should be good generalization. Again, I'm going to cover like 90% of Faceless YouTube niches out there. There's obviously going to be some stragglers. If you guys have any questions on anything, drop it down in the comments. I'll try to answer everything. But let me just read this, what I had. You'll see people talking about making 100K a month in 2 months off of a new trend. But if you never made $10,000 a month, this is important. If you never made 10K a month, don't worry about doing crazy numbers just yet. Let's focus on you getting to where you're making money. And then we can start to either build something we're passionate about or take advantage of some crazy lucrative opportunities that are popping up just because you don't know the complexities that are involved sometimes if you've never done Faceless YouTube before. And so again, I am like, my biggest tip for people that are getting started is optimize for making money first and then optimize for building around your passion second. So you probably might see something that you're passionate about. Cool, that might be a good opportunity for you. If you don't see anything on here that you're not passionate about, then probably just pick something that you're somewhat interested in, get to where you're making money, and then you can pivot from there. So a few vocabulary terms just to kind of give you guys throughout this. TAM, I'm going to bring this one up a good amount. Total addressable market, aka size of the audience. The bigger the TAM, the larger the audience there is. Smaller the TAM, smaller the audience size. The next one's market sophistication level. So the higher a market sophistication level is, and this is just good advice for anybody, any levels, is they have higher expectations. They desire content you can't find anywhere else. You'll see like one of the niches we'll jump into down the road where I'm going to break it down and I'm going to be like, this audience is really high expectations for what you're providing, delivering as content. And then a lower market sophistication level, they'll pretty much watch anything you post. They're excited to watch. So for example, a good trend right now at the recording of this, not to date the content too much, but there is like the Olympics are going on. If the Olympics are going on or some sort of event, then, you know, at that time it's just like the World Cup, if that's happening, or a submarine explodes or something underwater, you know, whatever happening. If you just put something up, people are hyped to watch it just because there's nothing else to watch on that subject. So they typically have a lower market sophistication level. Market saturation, this gets confused with a lot of beginners. This is why I put this as a vocabulary term. Most people misunderstand this definition and it screws them over royally on their ability to have success. Which, market saturation just means there's more channels doing the thing. If there's more competition, that is actually a good thing. Because if everybody is making 20, 30 grand a month and there's lots of them, that's good. That means you can do 20, 30 grand a month. What you don't want to have is like where you jump into some new market, especially with this being your first channel ever, or your first time making money ever from online or with Faceless YouTube channels. You don't want to be the only person, because then you're gonna have to validate yourself and you know, you don't even know what people want to watch. Versus a highly saturated market, if there is a large TAM, and there is a lot of people making money, that's a good thing. That's good. That means there's money to be made. I always see people get tripped up. Oh, there's competition. There's no more money left. There's no more opportunity. There's people starting like 3 months ago making 30 grand a month, and that means you can go make money. Now, when market saturation does become an issue is when there's a bunch of people that are in the niche for a very long time. No one's getting in recently. It's kind of hard to see that, or a lot of channels are failing when they're getting started. We'll talk about some of those niches in this list about what that looks like. That becomes an issue, but for some of the niches inside of here, market saturation is actually on your side and a good thing. So evergreen versus trending, I'm going to err to the side of evergreen to make this content a little bit more timeless, to make this video. Like, my goal is to make this training and it's going to be still effective for like 3 to 5 years from now. You know, so the more evergreen you have a channel, the more secure it is, but the slower it is going to be making money. Now, with that being said, you can always make evergreen content. Like, for example, I had a YouTube channel where we were talking about World War II history, like World War II, and you know, Netflix made a documentary on World War II, and so all of a sudden we had a trending content, even though we were optimizing for evergreen. Now, those videos about World War II still get views because they're evergreen, and when the trend passed, they're still getting views. But I'm gonna err for the side of evergreen, and then we'll kind of catch trending luck as we go along. That's kind of my approach. You can always do like trending niches, but I will be honest, it's a lot of work, and especially if you're getting started, you're trying to make your first $30,000 a month. Not the best solution. And then the next thing is, I'm going to go over these real quick. I might make a video separately, just specifically on what each of these terms mean. But you're going to hear me talk about this a lot because when as I mentioned earlier, the risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. You're going to see, I'm going to break down kind of what the potential issues are for each niche, and you're going to hear this pretty often. So limited ads simply means that you're able to upload your videos, they're able to get monetized, just YouTube limits what type of ads play on your videos. So you're gonna make less money. Sometimes when you get limited ads, a lot of times age gating typically happens as well. And basically just YouTube limits who can see your video because they just deem it not fully friendly with their community guidelines. Honestly, all said and done, look up the YouTube community guidelines on any of these things if you really have questions. I recommend every person getting into running YouTube channels, and especially Faceless YouTube channels, to go read all of the community guidelines. But limited ads, definitely, yeah, like look into all that stuff. Don't worry, like I said, I'll make a video about this, but I'll kind of explain it all for you. So then the demonetization, this one, typically it might go hand in hand with copyright claims. But basically demonetization just means that your like channel is unable to get monetized anymore or whatever. You have to get reapproved with the YouTube partner program. Age gating just means that people under the age of 18 aren't able to watch your video. And then copyright claim, there's two different types of copyright claims. There is a copyright strike, which is actually an issue where it's like a person's mad that use their content, they don't want to share the revenue or anything like that. They're just disappointed. Like they don't want their content being out there and being used. So if you get a copyright strike, you get 3 of those. That's it. Then a copyright claim means that they get all of the ad revenue from the video that you're playing. But don't worry, if you do get a copyright claim, most times you can just find the spot where you got a copyright claim, you can edit it out of the video, re-upload it, and then be back to the races with the video. So copyright's pretty chillin'. Like as far as fixability, that's probably one of the easier ones. Age gating, same with that one actually. It's just like age gating and limited ads, I would say it's like you kind of have to watch the video, make sure you don't have violence, make sure there's no blood, make sure there's no gore. Like try to PG-13ify it, PG it as much as you possibly can, and you can get around that. A lot of times you have to take the video down and then re-upload it. Yeah, it'll kill the momentum of the video, but yeah. And then the demonetization, that's where basically you have a tough time getting monetized with your channel. Solution for this, you can buy monetized YouTube channels. It's like I'm not going to do a full breakdown inside of this video about those things. But a lot of times people are kind of churning and burning channels if they're having demonetization, or they're just running multiple channels to be diversified in case something happens. So that's those terms. A couple things real quick about getting started. You want to get real with your resources. Some niches you'll see are super easy to get into. Others are maximum difficulty. I'll break those down inside of here. So you want to probably, if you're getting started or you don't want to be super risky, you probably want to go for the easier ones to get into. And then one of my biggest things that I found is sometimes for me, I just can't figure a niche out. Doesn't mean that it doesn't work. Doesn't mean that other people aren't making money with it, but I found if you just upload 20 or 30 videos, if you can't find success, maybe go pivot to a different niche and you can go crush it with that. I've just seen sometimes people just can't understand the content strategy of something when someone else can, but then they're better at another niche and they can crush it with that. And then the more you deviate from what's working as a beginner, the harder you make success for yourself. I can't stress this enough. Don't try to do original shit. Just do what's already working. And then the next thing is looking at parallel niches is one of the best tactics for success, and that's why I categorize those. So then you can kind of get a good understanding of your viewer avatar, which is something I talk about very heavily as to why we have so much success with our channels. But the main thing of looking at parallel niches, this will help you get a lot better ideas, know what's working in the market. Like this niche, the first niche I'm going to talk about, I'll break this down inside of it and you'll kind of get a good understanding of why. So without any further ado, let's jump into the niches. Thanks for getting through that stuff with me. It's super important if you guys actually want to have success and not just the niches. So the first niche that we have, this is one of my favorite ones, sports niche. One of the best ones out there, honestly, for beginners and intermediate and even advanced people. Why? Because it's easy as frick. I'm trying not to swear too much in this training as much as I do in other ones. It's super easy to get into the sports niche. Why? As we were just talking about with the parallel niches, this one's easy. If someone does something like, for example, basketball players you won't believe exist. If you see a training, like if you see something like that, you can literally do a basketball players you won't, like a soccer players you won't believe exist, the football players you won't believe exist, hockey players you won't believe won't exist, baseball players you won't believe won't exist. It becomes extremely easy to jump into. And so as I go through each of the niches, you're going to kind of have this little bit of a breakdown here as well. So with sports, Sports Niche covers a wide range of content related to various sports, including game highlights, player profiles, training tips, commentary, sports news. It appeals to a super broad audience, from casual fans to diehard enthusiasts of specific sports. Highly advise making content for the casual fans, and just make sure the diehard enthusiasts are like your content. There's a video on my channel where I talk about like talking to both of these audiences. You guys can watch that another time, but just, you know, make it for the casual fans. And then there's just so many things going on. I don't know why I put esports inside of here. You'll see I'll probably fix some of the stuff as we go through it, but the main thing is just there's a lot of women's sports happening right now. Like just a lot of sports. This is what I found, like with talking to a lot of my friends in the sports niche that are making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month with it. A lot of these sports, like the NBA or Formula One, or even tennis is kind of becoming this way now. A lot, like especially MMA, a lot of them are trying to involve social media as part of their marketing strategy now these days. And so a lot of them are pretty cool with like sharing a slice of the pie with you to be able to use their clips. So it's cool is you can kind of get around copyright and stuff like that, and that helps out significantly with this audience, because if you do have any sort of, like, if either they won't have any issues with you using their clips, or a lot of times they'll extend an offer out to you to partner with you, and to where, you know, they'll take 30 or 40% of the money that you make, but you can use any clips. So that's kind of cool, you know, with this niche specifically. If you are a little bit worried about copyright, that one will definitely, that's one of the nice things about sports niche. So when it comes to the market demand, it's extremely high due to the universal appeal of sports fans are consistently seeking updates, highlights, and in-depth analysis. They get kind of crazy sometimes, funny enough. So it's like, it's a pretty good audience. That's why I was like, one of my favorite audiences. There's so many keywords, there's so many topics you can cover. It's pretty awesome. Target audience is diverse. It's all over the place. So some content ideas, you could always do game highlights and recaps, player interviews and profiles, training fitness tips for aspiring athletes. This one, you're gonna not necessarily make as much ad revenue. You'll see, we'll talk about monetization a little bit inside of here. This one would be good if you want to do like a business with it. And then commentary and analysis of games and events, like especially if you go historical, as we talk about down here, and doing documentaries. So there's a lot of different like content angles that you can go with on things. So some example channels, kind of give you guys a quick list here if this niche interests you. Like honestly, just get through this entire training, and then if you guys want to jump into one of these niches, you guys can go back and pull up some of these channels. So monetization potential, ad revenue, super high. Like I have a lot of students, like I have one guy, he's making like $60,000 last month in the basketball niche, just because it's freaking huge. A lot of people are into it, and you make good content, you'll make a ton of money out of ad revenue. That's what's nice about this niche, is you can make pretty good money off the ad revenue. With that being said, you can also get a lot of sponsorship deals. My students that make a ton of money with the sports niches, they get a lot of brand deals coming their way, so that's pretty sweet. Affiliate marketing, sometimes just sponsor deals turn into affiliate marketing deals, or that's kind of the offer that they have. Merchandise, you know, selling branded apparel, you could always try that out. Like obviously not the team's names, but you could do, you know, like slogans and stuff like that. Like I saw like a baseball one, doors, you know, it's kind of like a analogy to missing the baseball entirely when you're swinging your bat. So you can always do like kind of funky things like that. That's kind of about the culture of the sport. Pretty awesome. You can always do, this kind of 2-in-1 right here. You can always create a community and do like some sort of sports betting community or something like that. That'd be a huge opportunity. And then working with sports brand deals or sports betting deals with your YouTube videos, that'd be a huge opportunity to make a ton of money. But yeah, monetization potential, pretty badass here. Some of the pros and cons of the niche. There is a large dedicated audience. There's just a lot of people that are into sports. What's cool is sports fans are all the same. Obviously the rules of sports are each different, but they're each kind of the same person. Now don't make one channel with all the sports on it, but just know that like what works for basketball will probably work for hockey or for tennis or for whatever. Also there's a wide variety of content possibilities, high engagement potential, so it's really great for building the community. And then for the cons, you know, there is more competition. So it's pretty likely that if you come up with an idea, someone will steal it from you, vice versa. But there's also more viewers. There's more to go around inside of this niche. Like I have students that started within 6 months, they're already making 50 grand a month with it. There's a lot of room for people to jump in if you know how to make good content. There is a little bit of some need for timely and up-to-date content with some of the stuff that's going on, especially if there's like new players, if there's like, for example, there's this guy, John Morant. He had this whole incident with like pulling out a gun or something like that, and it was a huge issue in the NBA. You kind of need to make a John Morant video fairly quickly. But if you're making evergreen content, like the day that Michael Jordan showed Larry Bird who's boss, or some sort of angle like that, it's okay. That's a little bit more timeless. You don't have to necessarily be so up to date on stuff. And then potential copyright issues with game footage. I kind of broke that down a little bit. A lot of times these sports lately are just extending offers to partner with you on it. There's also, you could just edit around things with copyright. This is the cool thing about copyright, I haven't mentioned before, is you can kind of typically edit around it. I teach that a lot more in my program, and how to do that, and how to hire people that know how to do it typically. But you can always get around copyright. My thoughts, why I like this niche: the sports niche offers endless amount of content opportunities. There's so many, they're just happening all year round. It allows for a dynamic mix of informative and entertaining content. Honestly, it's just, there's always going to be something to talk about. Maybe after doing it for 3 years, you might get a little sick of it, but at least you made a ton of money off of the opportunity. Trends of future opportunities. Yeah, women's sports, that's kind of becoming a big thing, and that's been a huge, they're actually selling out stadiums in the women's NBA right now. And so women's sports is starting to become a pretty big thing. So there's that. And then also there's always big sporting events in every sport. Like the NBA, there's the playoffs every year in the championship. MLB, there's the playoffs in the World Series. NFL, there's the Super Bowl, and the playoffs in the Super Bowl. Any sort of track and field or running or biking, there's the Olympics every 4 years. Skiing, snowboarding, any of those sports, there's the Olympics every 4 years for that sport as well. For soccer, there's the World Cup, and then there's also every year they have their league tournament. I don't know what it's called, but there's just always a huge event for each sport. Even Formula One, there's the championship and stuff. The only thing I would say is it kind of slows down a little bit when it's the off season of sports. So that's where evergreen content is significantly better in the off season, and then trending mix in a little bit more trending content during the season. So you kind of get a mix of both worlds. So you can kind of make up for the slower months when it is the off season. A pro tip: do not cross mix sports. I've mentioned this a few times, but build an audience that you can think about doing. Build an audience, then you can think about doing multiple sports. So and even then, just every channel, just do one sport. There is one channel, it's called Nonstop Sports. You can go look at that one. They do basketball and football, but honestly, a lot of times they err back to doing basketball videos. So just pick one niche inside of sports. It's gonna make your life significantly easier, to be honest. And then when you do that, even sub-niche it down a little bit more to documentaries or news or recaps or top moments or something like that. Cool. Next niche. So this brings us over to spirituality and religion. This has been a little bit more of a trend lately, especially since, Aaron, I'll kind of jump over to here, especially since COVID happened, the pandemic. A lot of people are getting into religion lately. There's if you look at the news, there's record amount of baptisms in Christianity. There's record amounts of conversions to religions right now. Obviously, we live in a little bit of a crazy world right now. Spirituality and religion is a huge opportunity for a Faceless YouTube channel. The one thing I would say, which I'll kind of have my note at the end of this, is just depends on how you feel about monetizing on religion. Most people don't care. Some people do. I kind of feel a little bit weird about doing it personally, but it is a great niche, and I know a ton of people that are kind of capitalizing on it. I don't know too many people sports niche. I know people that are making $100,000 a month with that. I don't know too many people making $100,000 a month with spirituality or religious channels. From my research that I did, and I even have a research page that I made of 300 six-figure Faceless YouTube channels, and another 50 seven-figure Faceless YouTube channels. I did not see any seven-figure religious channels. So just kind of keep that in mind. So with that being said, you can apply literally to any religion. You can even do religious lists, but spiritual content that does really well. And what's cool is because with religious and spiritual content, you can use AI content a lot, or AI to make the content a lot more and script the videos and make the videos, because it typically is an older demographic. And then also, it's a little bit harder to pick up on AI when it comes to this type of content. So with that being said, kind of already covered this. Target audience, pretty much everybody. It's all over the place. It is a lot of older people. There's younger people getting into religion and spirituality, but it's a lot of older people, which if you know anything about production, it makes it so much easier because they don't have as much dopamine brained expectations for what you make. So it's a little bit easier for beginners, this niche. So with that being said, some content ideas, explanations of religious texts and teachings, interviews with spiritual leaders and practitioners. This might be better as kind of like motivational content is what I've seen out there in the marketplace I was working. Stories of personal spiritual journeys and testimonials. So you could do it as like a story channel. And then guided meditations and mindful practices. If you do this type of content, it's going to have significantly lower RPM. So stay away from doing that, honestly, in my mind, unless you're really dead set on doing it. So we haven't really brought up RPM in the past. RPM just stands for, I'll explain this keyword. RPM stands for our revenue per mil, which is how much money you make per 1,000 views. It's basically the ad rate that you get paid. Most of the things that I'm showing you inside of here are between like, on the low end, like $5, $6 to like $10 to $12 per 1,000 views. If you do meditations and mindful practices, you're probably gonna be around $1. So you're gonna make way less money doing this type of content. Obviously you can get way more views with it because it's, you know, people watch these videos multiple times over. My opinion, I would stay away from it personally. I would do more explainer, storytelling, documentary, kind of more formulaic content that I'm talking about inside of this presentation. So that brings me over to the next example channels. Here's a few channels. I made sure to try to get a little bit of some mixture. I think one of these is like an Islamic channel. One thing I'm now thinking about this, I didn't add any like Buddhism channels or New Era spiritual channels, but this is a good start to go find stuff. And then monetization potential, ad revenue, moderate potential due to niche audience size. Like I said, I don't see anybody making $1 million a year with these channels unless you have like a full-fledged business. But you know, sponsorships, not too sure about this one specifically. Affiliate marketing, you know, you could try some different offers out. Sponsorships, maybe you could just sponsor a local church and just use this channel as like your donation to the church in the sense or something like that. Online courses and workshops, you know, you could always do some sort of like a school community would probably crush it with this. And then offering paid courses on meditation, spiritual practice. I have seen this, I have seen some people that are in more of like the meditation, new world spirituality kind of thing, like where they'll, you know, offer different stuff like services and stuff like that. So I have seen that kind of work with some of the channels. Pros and cons. Pros, highly engaged, loyal audience, potential for deep, meaningful content, especially if you're really into this stuff. Opportunity to build a supportive community, which is cool. It is a pretty cool community with these channels. Cons, a sensitive subject matter requires careful handling, diverse audience with varied beliefs, potential for controversy and negative feedback, and I don't know how you feel about monetizing religion. My thoughts, again, I've kind of already covered everything. There's just a lot of content. Like, just some people are really passionate about this. Again, I would apply what I said at the very beginning of this presentation, where if you can't figure it out, try a different niche out on the list. Probably one of my recommendations if you can't figure it out, because I see some people, they crush it with this, and then some people, they really can't figure it out, like why this content does so well. And that's okay. You know, you don't have to be good at everything. There's probably another niche that you'll do way better. Kind of like a quick breakdown on that, if you're watching this, and this is for the people that are watching this entire training, not just skipping around, is one thing that I found is there's some niches that work with a logical brain, and then there's some niches that work with an emotional brain. This is more of an emotional piece of content. So you kind of have to be a lot better about emotional understanding and like EQ. And then there's other channels that are more IQ channels. And so I found when IQ people do an EQ channel, they really struggle. And then EQ people do an IQ channel, they kind of struggle there as well. Now, obviously, best of both worlds would be if you have EQ and IQ, where you have logical understandings of things, but then also emotional understandings of things. But, you know, if you're getting started, kind of understanding yourself a bit more, like, are you more of a techie nerd person, like analytical? Or like for me, I went to school for computer science, so I kind of resonated with more logical based content at first. And then, or are you someone that's more of a storyteller? You know, you kind of get, you understand stories way better, but when it comes to logic and engineering and stuff like that, you're really dumb when it comes to that stuff, or you struggle understanding it. So the better you understand yourself, the better. Again, spirituality, that one's a little bit more of an EQ. Sports is more of an IQ, like a more of a logical thing. So that's kind of why, in my mind, sports is better. It's very logical. Some people do struggle with it, like I said, if they're a little bit more EQ. So travel geography, this one, if we're going the IQ, EQ thing, this one's kind of probably about right in the middle of the two. This is a good niche. I like the travel and geography niche. It's a little bit more evergreen, so it takes a little bit more time to get into it. I don't necessarily there. I guess there are like 1 or 2 channels that are making like $1 million a year with this. If you build a business around it, it could be insanely lucrative. But yeah, it's pretty cool. You can talk about places, cultures, landscapes, geography, how that all understands, how that all works. You can talk about politics. This is one of the kind of like, my thing on making political content, because you can always talk about geopolitics. You have to be weary about sensationalizing the content if you do political content. So be careful of sensationalism. If you can avoid that, you can pretty much get into almost anything. Just, they don't want everyone thinking that World War III is going to happen or something like that, because you're, sensationalizing the information. So it's pretty sweet. Niche appeals to people interested in exploring the world, whether for leisure, education, or inspiration. Honestly, it's one of my favorite niches. It's pretty cool. Like I said, it takes a lot longer to build one of these, but pretty cool niche. And then, yeah, it's just travel's kind of a big trend right now too. So it's pretty cool. Market demand and audience, high demand. I want to say I would probably kind of mix it with the spirituality. Maybe a little bit higher demand than spirituality. The market sophistication isn't too crazy with it. The target audience, it's kind of all over the place. Like I have some travel channels, and I've talked with people that are fans of mine, and typically it's like 30, 40-year-old people. They just play my videos on their television and stuff. So we get a lot of television viewers with this audience. Like I said, it's a lot more evergreen. It takes a long time to get results with it, but once you start making money, it's like super stable. Like one of the most stable 20 grand a month channels that I have right now. But yeah, this is a pretty sweet niche in that sense. Some content ideas, travel guides for specific destinations, cultural insights and local traditions. This is kind of a cool one that's been popping up recently that I've been seeing. Breakdowns of political events that are happening. There's always something to talk about with that stuff. Like I said, you have to be careful of sensationalism. And then geography lessons and fun facts about different places, sustainable travel trips. This is a little bit smaller TAM, I would say. You can totally do it. As a Faceless channel, it doesn't work as well. As a personal brand, it works a little bit better. I didn't have any recommendation channels on this list for this one specifically, but the other ones, you can find a lot more of the other ones. Some example channels right here. If you guys are interested in this niche, feel free to look at it. Monetization potential, ad revenue, strong potential due to the large and engaged audience. Sponsorships, you get a lot of brand deal offerings from this one. Kind of all over the place, to be honest. Funny enough, we get real estate offerings and stuff like that. Affiliate marketing, booking platforms, travel insurance, merchandise. You can always sell travel themed products. I see a lot of travel channels sell merch compared to other niches. And then you can always build a course and workshop or business around it. So pros and cons: pros, engage an enthusiastic audience, and there's content possibilities with new destinations and trends, opportunity to inspire, educate viewers. Cons: competition from established travel yeah, it's just that's the point I would probably want to articulate on in this, is when you have older demographics, they're a little bit hesitant to watch the new channel, is what I found. And so this history, the spirituality, religious one, people have a little bit of a hesitation of trust. And so once you start building, that's why it takes a little bit to grow, but once you kind of get going, you have really consistent views with these. It's a lot more evergreen. There's just a huge lack of trust in this industry, I would say, or just people get comfortable with watching their favorite creator. So that kind of happens. And then a lot more evergreen, so you may see a slower growth, and then political faces issues with getting around YouTube policy for sensationalism. So if you do try to do the kind of political content, again, avoid sensationalism. So yeah, I kind of already covered a lot of this stuff. Cool. All right, so the next niche is health and fitness. This has been one of my favorite ones, honestly, that I've been telling a lot of people to get into. It's kind of getting competitive. It is starting to increase market sophistication, because a year or two ago, it was very low market sophistication. YouTube's policies were a lot looser too. Now you kind of can't just say you can cure cancer and stuff like that, or else then you're going to have issues with the YouTube policy. So yeah, but health and fitness is kind of fun because there's always new trends going on. Like, remember the Liver King dude? Everyone was eating liver out of nowhere. Yeah, it's just so many funny trends that are happening all the time. There's so many health products. There's so much marketing behind this industry. It's comical, and honestly, it's one of my favorite niches. Like, on there, just like a little bit ago, like a year ago, you could get away with like basically a presentation like this and get millions of views with the videos. Super low quality, low effort production. If you go watch this video right here, actually, you'll see it. You're starting to see a little bit less of that insanely lower quality production. But it is kind of a cool niche. So encompasses a wide array of content related to physical, mental, emotional well-being. That is one I didn't include on here. It's kind of was a weird one to put into a place, but also kind of like psychology and mental health can kind of fit into here as well. Yeah. Niche appeals to individuals seeking to improve. Right now, there's just a lot of people that are like there's a lot of awareness behind mental health, physical health, and nutritional health. So people are always looking for the next best thing. There's a lot of trends. There's always trends in the health niche. With that being said, market demand, I said extremely higher. Honestly, I would say it's kind of like the same as the last two. I don't know too many like 7-figure health channels. Sports, I know 7-figure channels. The other niches I'm going to show you inside of here, lots of 7-figure channels. This one, if you have a business and a product, you can probably more easily scale this to 7 figures, but purely ad revenue, I couldn't find too many. The target audience, typically it's a lot of older. It's a lot of older people inside of this niche. Again, perks of older audience content is you don't have to be as crazy with the edits, and it becomes a lot easier. So, content ideas, how-to videos on home exercise and workouts. Don does pretty well. Explainers on common and rare medical conditions, does pretty well. Seems like everybody has diabetes these days. Nutritional advice, including recipes and diet plans, works really well. Mental health tips and coping strategies, a little bit more competitive. There's so much self-help content. That one gets kind of tough a little bit, I would say. That one you kind of have to go above and beyond with that one. But interviews with health professionals, this one's killing it right now because there's like kind of that trust recession that we live in right now, where there's just like a lack of trust that people have. And so if you do these kind of like health professional videos, those crush it. I've seen it, like I have some students that make a lot of money with that. So example channels, here you go. Healthy Long Life, Body Hub, here you go. You guys can go look at that. Monetization potential, strong potential. Like I said, you can definitely make 20 grand a month with this pretty reasonably with it. Sponsorships, opportunities from health, wellness brands, medical institutions, supplements. And then you could always offer like a nutrition plan or fitness plans or something like that, or partner with somebody that is a fitness coach or nutrition coach, and you can offer their services with your channel and probably get a commission from them. So pros and cons: high demand, consistent viewer interest, potential to positively impact viewers' lives, wider range of topics and content styles from scientific to personal vlogs. Cons: high responsibility to provide accurate and safe information. This is starting to become an actual thing with YouTube, their compliance. You can't just say cure cancer. You can't even say like reverse cancer right now. You have to be very particular. Again, I probably shouldn't even say it in this video if I uploaded it to YouTube, to be honest. But you have to be really cautious of talking about that. So regulatory and ethical considerations, there is stuff that does that out there, but you have to kind of talk around things, or else it's like a huge compliance issue for YouTube right now. So intense competition from both professionals and enthusiasts. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are like have a full-fledged business and doctors and stuff. They don't need as many views because they're a doctor and they sell products and they sell books and stuff like that. So they care less about the ad revenue. That makes it a little bit dangerous. That's why you won't see finance niche on this list, because that is the worst faceless YouTube channel niche to get into. Not to say that you can't make it work. There is people that make it work, but there's a lot of finance people that they only need 100,000 views a month and they're making $1 million a month. So it makes it kind of hard to compete with people like that because they don't really care about the views and they're chilling. Intense competition for both. Yeah, cool. And then here, I'm trying to think if there's anything here. Healthcare niche is rewarding. Yeah, I see a lot of people that are into health. Is a great niche for them. Again, be careful of trying to do your own thing. If you've never made 10, 20 grand a month with a Faceless YouTube channel, go do something that someone else is doing. Follow them. Do that strategy. When you're making 30 grand a month, then come up with your own strategies. That's what I would say. So try not to just be like, oh, I'm into whatever it is, apple cider vinegar. But if no one gives a shit about apple cider vinegar right now, you should be not making a video about apple cider vinegar unless it's the trend that's going on right now. Like, unless you have a product around it or a business around it, it's going to be hell. You want to find what's kind of working right now. The trends move kind of quick in this niche, so you have to pivot with it. I see a lot of older channels fall off because they don't stay with the trends. So you got to kind of stay with the trends in this. It is, yeah, a little bit more evergreen than some other things, but it is a bit of a trending niche, and the topics change and the keywords change pretty often. So you need to kind of stay with that. So that brings over to the next niche, public records. This is, okay, if you guys want a get rich quick niche, this is the get rich quick niche, I would say, out of this entire list. I will say, though, you have the highest likelihood of failing with this one specifically. So, yeah, I don't know, do with that information as you want, as you wish. But this is, I've had a lot of students get to making $50,000, $80,000 a month with it. It's also a pain in the ass, like sometimes. Like, you could upload the best videos out there and you'll get like 10 views on the video because you'll get shadow banned. That's one of the keywords that I did not mention, but you'll get shadow banned because it's highly likely to be R-rated content. YouTube's not going to tell you it's R-rated content if you're a new YouTube channel. You kind of have to figure that out yourself. What is R-rated and what's not R-rated. Bigger channels can get away with more stuff than smaller channels. It's a pain in the ass of a niche to get into, but when you figure it out, you make a ton of money really quickly, is what I would say, because it's very, like, insane. And you don't have copyright issues with this niche because it's all fair use. So, huge benefit with it, like police body cameras, interrogation, courtroom, all of that stuff is fair use. But again, it's a pain in the ass to get in with it. So you kind of typically need a aged YouTube channel or a monetized YouTube channel. These are things we talk about in FCA. But it's a great niche. Make a ton of money with this thing. So public record breakdown niche involves analyzing and presenting footage from body cams, courtroom proceedings, and interrogation rooms. I've seen as simple as where they're just showings of the clips. I've seen it to where it's full production and talking over and narrating everything. So this content provides insights into law enforcement procedures, legal processes, and human behavior. Like some of them, they do like full-on psychological breakdowns of how criminals act and stuff. It appeals to viewers' interest in true crime, legal studies, and real-life drama. So there's a lot of people into that stuff. I personally am not into that shit. I know people love that stuff though at the same time. So, and there's just a lot of stuff around law enforcement right now these days. And people love watching that stuff. It's just a lot of attention, eyeballs on law enforcement. A lot of money to be made. So, market demand, high demand, target audience. You know, you have the people that are extreme, like super want to get into this stuff, but then you also have all the people that are just casual viewers of this stuff and just love the emotional drama. This is one of those EQ channels, if I were to give you back that EQ, IQ thing. So, content, ideas, breakdown of body cam footage, analysis of courtroom trials, examination of interrogation techniques, educational videos on legal rights and procedures, interviews with legal experts and law enforcement professionals. Obviously, this one would be kind of harder to get, but there's a lot of legal experts and law enforcement professionals that would probably love to give you their 2 cents, or people that want to be legal experts and want to give you their 2 cents. So some example channels, Dr. Insanity, you guys, you get the gist. You guys can go and look at this if this is the niche you're into. With a lot of these, there's probably like 30 of these types of channels. There's probably 30 courtroom channels. I just kind of grabbed a couple. I didn't want to give you guys a whole fat list. Just create a new YouTube channel, go subscribe to like these ones on this list, watch a few of the videos. You'll see like 20 of the channels in the niche pop up pretty quickly. So I'm just kind of giving you guys a starting point. I'm not giving you the whole list. If you want that, I will I give it away in other videos, so look out for it. And then monetization potential, ad revenue, strong potential due to high viewership and engagement levels, sponsorships, opportunities from legal firms, law enforcement, equipment. You know, I haven't really seen anybody do sponsorship deals, but you know, you probably do like therapy and stuff like that. Affiliate marketing, promoting books. You can always try that out. Merchandise. Honestly, most of the revenue you're going to probably make is like ad revenue. I haven't really seen anybody too much do all this other stuff. You totally can make coffee mugs or something like that, but up to you. Pros and cons. Pros: high viewer engagement and interest, educational value, endless content possibilities with ongoing. Yeah, there's just always cases going on. Cons: sensitive content requiring careful handling. I feel weird about doing it. I'm not necessarily in a rush to make 50 grand a month off of a YouTube channel. If this was one of the niches that was out there when I first got started into YouTube and I was more aware of it, I probably would have done it. But now I have no need to get into it. But I know if you want to make a lot of money really quickly, great opportunity. Legal and ethical considerations, and then potential for graphic. Yeah, you kind of have to be really careful of this stuff, because YouTube is really strict on that, so beware. And then basically what will happen is you'll just get shadow banned or not know why you're getting views. That's the hardest part of this niche, like I was talking about earlier. Why I like this niche, basically you can make a lot of money really quickly. And then it's interesting. It is like social psychology and stuff like that is pretty interesting. And then trends for future opportunities. There's always going to be so much like stuff going on in the future. I remember like DaBaby, one of the rappers, there was a video of him going around of him getting interrogated and how he reacted there. Video went crazy. There's always gonna be celebrities in the court. There's always gonna be celebrities getting pulled over. There's like always just interesting content coming out. So it's gonna be around for a pretty long time unless YouTube really changes their policies or something like that. The next one, STEM. So this is like, here I broke it down. I forget the word means sometimes. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So this is kind of like a little bit more on the cutting edge of things. Okay, so what I was gonna say, this is the one thing I remember now. When I was doing the research for this video, because I know channels in all of these different niches, but I wanted to make sure I give you guys really good examples and had good examples for each of these. I probably put like 20 hours into making this training. Mainly just finding really good examples for each of these and then getting all the content together. But this one, there is a huge gap of people that have high production that are making a ton of money with this, and then the people with low production quality really struggle with this. Or if they're solo creators, I'll see them make like like this video right here I think was like a solo creator. They'll get like 1 million views on a video and then they struggle to get another video out because it probably took them like 100 hours to make a single video. Like when we talk about market sophistication level, highest maximum high like market sophistication level, you have to be really good in this niche at taking extremely logical, technical, in-depth, graduate level degree technology and explaining it to a golden retriever that can't speak Spanish. That is one of the hardest things when it comes to this niche, is having high quality information dumbed down enough to anybody can understand it. That makes this niche really difficult, and then they want fancy animations and shit a lot of times. So this is a cool niche, one of my favorite niches out there. This is like my like I even put this channel right here, Kurzgesagt. I don't know how to say it. It's like a German channel. One of the coolest channels ever. Like this channel, they produce videos for like $30,000 a video. Each video they make like 20 grand, 30 grand to produce the video. You know, a lot of these other ones probably like a couple grand or something like that, or just a lot of hours and the person just learned how to make the videos. I think these ones like on this channel, like B1M or some of the other channels you'll see, they're not as crazy, maybe like $500 to $1,000 a video. Higher production value on these videos typically than all the other ones. Like the sports niche, I have students that get away with like $30 videos and they make a ton of money with it. This niche, you kind of have to be a lot more intentional with it. So overview, kind of already broke down what it includes. It ranges from educational videos and complex theories, practical experiments, tech reviews, discussions on latest scientific discoveries. This niche appeals to students, educators, professionals, and enthusiasts who are passionate about learning and innovation. Super cool niche. Again, it's just hard. It's really hard to get into and maintain. Current trends, there's just a lot of stuff going on. Like there's telescopes getting launched. There's new technology freaking everywhere. There's artificial intelligence, all sorts of stuff. Our market demand and audience, high and growing demand due to the increased importance of STEM. And then pandemic has highlighted the roles of science and society, further boosting interest, includes students, educators, professionals, and related fields. This audience spans all ages, but is particularly concentrated among younger. I would say, yeah, it's like a high sophisticated audience. So you like when it comes to educational content, you have to really lean into educational content for it to go viral. So content ideas, explainer videos on complex topics such as quantum mechanics, machine learning, updated an analysis on space missions, astronomical events. You can do this one, but I'll actually kick that one out because it doesn't make much sense. Profiles of significant viewers and figures in STEM and their contributions. Those do really well because there's so many of them. There's that. I'm going to be an asshole trying to pronounce it, but we'll do Neil deGrasse Tyson because he's easy to pronounce, or Elon Musk, those people. So there's a lot of people that can make content around that stuff. It does really well. It's just high sophisticated market. Like you could make Tesla videos like 5 years ago, make a ton of money with it. People now have a super high appetite for what you make. If it's anything Tesla related or something like that, it needs to be something good, or else they're kind of people aren't. It's not so sensationalized as it used to be. So some example channels. Here's a list right here. This is like a math channel. This is my favorite channel. Like I said, this one's cool. They spend like $20,000 a video. They're on a whole nother league. Don't compare yourself to them, but cool to look at. Really cool channels on here, honestly. Like I said, one of my favorite niches, just really hard to execute on. So if you can't figure it out, you go try to do this. Like, don't beat yourself up. Like it takes someone that's like pretty intelligent, like somebody that's really gets production and intelligence with logical stuff like that. Monetization potential, ad revenue, good potential due to engage and often repeat viewership, sponsorships, opportunities from educational institutions, tech companies, scientific. A lot of things that you can promote. Selling themed merchandise, that would be kind of cool to sell. You could make some pretty cool merch. And then offering more in-depth courses on specific STEM topics. I see a lot of the creators do that. So pros and cons: engaging the knowledge-thirsty audience, opportunity to make a significant educational impact, a growing job market and societal focus on STEM fields. Issue is complex content that may require significant research and understanding. It takes a good amount just to understand, wrap your head around these concepts. Potentially high production costs for high quality scientific demonstration, just animations and stuff like that. You don't probably need scientific demonstrations, but to like visualize what you're talking about, because there's not always content on everything you're talking about. You kind of have to get creative with it. So niche may be too broad, requiring a focus on to effectively capture and retain. Yeah, you want to definitely niche it down to like architecture or engineering or mega builds or mega projects. My thoughts. Yeah, I think it's great. It's cool. I love learning new things, so I love watching this niche. But to one of the largest view potential, but huge gap in production. Low budget channels struggle to make it work consistently. Or I see them like make million view videos, but then they struggle to have very consistent output, and they're putting out like one video or two videos a year. So you want to if you want to make good money, you want to be getting pretty consistent output with your channels. So celebrity niche is the next one. Now this niche on the flip side, easiest niche to get into, like one of the ones up there, like easiest to get into. It's probably like top 5 niches easiest to get into for beginners. So there is like definitely higher market sophistication for more like if you do this Adam Sandler paradox type of stuff. But there's always something going on. There's always somebody in the news for misbehaving or something like that. There's always new movies with high budgets coming out all the time too that you can kind of ride their trends. So celebrity niche covers a vast array of content related to famous personalities, various industries, film, music, sports, and beyond. Celebrity news, interviews, lifestyle insights. There's a lot that you can do there. So trends, there's just a lot going on. And then there's also a notable trend towards more authentic and less scripted content. Market demand and audience extremely high. There's just people are always fascinated with celebrity culture and entertainment industry. Celebrity content tends to generate significant views due to the star power of its subjects. Target audience super broad, super diverse. If you get something that hits, you make a ton of money really quickly. Content ideas, daily and weekly celebrity news roundups, deep dives into notable celebrity careers and personal lives, analysis of celebrity fashion, commentary on celebrity social media posts and public statements, discussions on the impact of celebrities on culture and trends, some example channels, monetization potential very high. I can't say maybe I found a couple channels. It was more towards like the movie industry of people making six figures. Yeah, actually, like with the rap drama recently, there's some money that was definitely being made with like the Drake and Kendrick Lamar. I have some friends that made a couple $100,000 in a month off of that rap drama stuff. So there is just opportunities. Like I know when the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case was like going on, there was people printing $300,000 a month during when that happened. So it's a cool niche, super high potential. When things are going down, they're going down. You can make a ton of money. Like Will Smith getting slapped. People made a ton of like a huge bag off of that too. There is a good amount of dry time, to try to make up for things. Like in between of like news cycles, it's a little bit slower for sure. But when things are happening, like market sophistication is extremely low. They just want anything and everything around the content. It's a great niche during that time. So pros and cons: high engagement and viewership. Content can be produced quickly. Broad appeal, highly competitive niche. Yeah, you need to be like super up to date with stuff. That's the only thing. You gotta like be in on this stuff. You gotta watch TMZ and all that stuff. You gotta go move to LA and make all this TMZ content. No, but you do need to like watch the industry like pretty closely. And then risk of legal issues. There is a possibility of getting like some defamation cases or something, like a cease and desist and stuff like that. So just be aware. If there's a lot of channels making content around it, it shouldn't be too big of an issue. But I know, like right now, there's the Chris Tyson thing that's going on, or Ava, or whatever their name is. There's that content that's going on right now that, like, I know Mr. Beast is sending out like cease and desist letters that have anything to do with like his relation to Chris in the videos. So. You have to be a little bit careful. I know like some people that are super monetizing on that right now and stuff. But yeah, my thoughts, celebrity niche, a lot of stuff going on. I personally don't like drama myself, but great niche if you want to make money. Honestly, if you're just trying to make money, first go do this, make money, and then go build something that you're passionate about. That's probably what I would do if I didn't know what opportunity to pick and this sounds somewhat decent. I would jump into it. I personally wouldn't want to do this for 10 years. I'd do it for a couple of years, make a ton of money with it, and then move on. So that's one thing you do. And then, yeah. Okay, so the next one, blue collar. So this is one of those niches that I was like, I knew this was a niche. I haven't deep dove into it too much, but I was not ready for the black hole that I went down diving into this niche for this thing. I probably spent 3 hours getting together the channels for this and just finding all this whack stuff that was going viral. There's so many, like you'll see like on this one, a lot of the videos are brand new, getting millions of views. There's so many ways to do this niche. I thought I was going to struggle to find channels for this because I knew it was a good niche and I knew it's been out there. But when I did the research for this, they were freaking everywhere. I'm trying to think if there's another niche that was like hard to find stuff for. I think it was the STEM one. The STEM one I had, that one was kind of hard to be honest. But the same with health and fitness, that one was all right. Travel, I kind of know that niche well. But this one, there was so many examples. As soon like you kind of had to know what to look for at first. But once you got into the niche, there were so many channels getting into this. Now that brings me over to like the kind of concern with this is there's a lot of channels that started a year ago that are not uploading now. So there's a lot of copyright going on. Like I don't know who owns a lot of this content. Like the public record stuff, it's all fair use. It's all fair game. And this stuff, you kind of have to get the rights for the content. So I know there's some people that reach out to these manufacturers at these warehouses and they'll pay them $20 to record some videos and then now they own the rights to the content. So I see people do that, but you have to be really like, you have to either edit around it to get around that stuff. Like I said, if you get a copyright claim, it's not the end of the world. You just have to edit around it. YouTube will tell you the exact timestamp where that copyright claim happened. But these there is like so many channels in this world, especially down the. You know what's funny is I actually didn't put a lot of the heavy machinery videos. If you just go to this one, like this channel, there's a bunch of this one, like heavy machinery. There's a lot of farming heavy machinery content that I didn't put on here. I found at least like 20 of those channels that were making bank with it. So there's definitely a lot of options when it came to that stuff. But yeah, I tried to get a good mix, like kind of some military content to, you know, trucking to manufacturing. There's a lot of manufacturing that was going around. So yeah, manual labor, construction, manufacturing, agriculture. Yeah, there's a lot of construction too. And then, yeah, lots of educational videos. A lot of it was also just kind of like compilations of technology that was found. Like I said, this is where like some of it I was like, how the hell do they get the content? If you watch the videos, you can kind of see how they get around any potential copyright issues. So definitely watch for that. Market demand and audience. There is a lot of channels that are making $100,000 a year with these channels. I can't say I found any. Actually, there were a couple that I found that were $1 million a year channels, like Quantum Tech World. There's a couple others too, but I got some of the different niches. Just go look up these channels, subscribe to all these if you're interested in this niche, and then just start watching the videos and you'll see a ton of these channels everywhere. But yeah, a lot of stuff going on. And then some of the videos you make, tutorials. This one might be a little bit hard to do tutorials, but reviews and demonstration of industrial tools and machinery, guides on safety practice. That one's kind of, maybe, I don't know. Day in the life video showcasing various, yeah, that one does really well. People are always curious about what people's day in the lives looks like. And also there's a trend towards like blue collar jobs are really important right now. So people are really interested in that stuff. But then to a large population of people, it's like super foreign to them what this life even remotely looks like. So educational content on the impact of technology in these sectors, really cool as well. That kind of goes back to more of like the STEM videos a bit more, but yeah. So example channels, there was a lot of these. I just put down 5, but a lot of them were very similar channels, but there was a lot of them out there. It was pretty mind blowing. And I could have spent like a week just researching this niche, to be honest with you. So monetization potential, good potential, opportunities from brands. Like I said, there was just some channels that had copyright claims and stuff like that. You could tell they kind of disappeared, but you could always just pop up another YouTube channel. It's freaking YouTube. You could just always create another channel. It's not a big deal. So pros and cons: niche audience, specific interests, leading to high engagement, content that provides real world skills and educational value, loyal audience, fan base. The cons: limited global appeal compared to other niches. Content can require significant expertise and authenticity. Potential high cost for producing content involving heavy machinery and tools. My thoughts: like I said, this one was a black hole of content. It blew my mind how many channels. Like, I've noticed this niche. I've seen these channels. I've seen even the back ends of these channels, but I've never like personally gone like down a deep dive of it. And once I did the deep dive, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. There were a good amount of channels though. What I will say, that like were doing things that were like 70 or 80% there and not getting views. I have had some students where they try to get into this niche. They could not figure it out. I have some students where they could figure it out. It's a bit of a weird niche. It's like this one in like animals. I can never figure out the animal niche personally. I didn't even add it onto this list because I can never figure it out. But some people, they figure it out. Some people, they don't. I don't know. Like some of the other ones are kind of a bit more of a guarantee. Like this one's one of those, I don't know. That's why I've never really done one personally. I don't fully get it. Like when I was doing the research, funny enough, a lot of those like fail compilations were popping up. I haven't watched a fail compilation since I was like 14 years old. So I don't really resonate with the audience as much as I probably need to make good content in this niche. If you find yourself watching fail compilations all the time, this might be the niche for you. Like, it was kind of funny. It seemed like very hand in hand. It was like, when I was looking at this stuff, it was guns and fail compilations were popping up amidst all of these videos. And hunting videos. So if you like watching that stuff, this might be the niche for you. So that brings me over to the next one. Okay. I said STEM is like one of my favorite ones. This one's like the coolest one out there. Also one of the hardest to produce. I know a lot of the people that run these YouTube channels, they're story geniuses. They are really good at telling stories and walking through complex situations and bringing somebody through all of it. And what I will say is it's a bit of work to figure these out. They're kind of high production, not always, but they're really good at what they do. Like this is like an art form, I would say. These videos are an art form. Some of the other ones are more logical. Like this is more of an art form of content. of a niche, to be honest with you guys. But I'll break it down for you guys. This is one of the coolest ones. If you can figure out this stuff, you're a freaking G. You'll make a ton of money. You'll print. It's a cool niche. Again, really hard to get into it. Like anything from like video games to movies, like explaining and stories of philosophical or deep concepts, to business to CIA investigations to, I don't remember what this channel was, but it was cool. So storytelling niche encompasses a wide range of narrative-driven content, including personal stories, historical tales, fictional narratives, and more. This niche can span various formats such as animated stories, vlogs might be kind of weird, but like dramatic reenactments, spoken word performances. It appeals to viewers who enjoy emotional engagement. See, this is more of an EQ niche. I struggle with this one, like, to make it myself, to be honest. I do make some story-based, like, storytelling content. I have to put in a lot of extra work for me to understand it personally, so other people, they might crush it. So learning through narratives and exploring different perspectives through storytelling. Yeah, just people love cool content, and this is that cool content category. I think this is what makes YouTube really cool, like this types of videos. I love watching them. They're so cool. It's education and entertainment all packaged into one. So market demand and audience, high and growing as people naturally gravitate towards stories to make sense of the world. There is a continuous demand for new, engaging, and innovative storytelling that captures the imagination and emotions of viewers. Target audience, broad and inclusive, ranging from young children to adults. So that's why it gets kind of complicated. You have to be really good at explaining simple subjects. But yeah, it's about like learners who absorb information best through narratives. Some content ideas: animated stories, dramatic retellings of historical events, fictional series that tackle contemporary issues, and story-driven documentaries that delve into interesting topics. So here's some channels. There's a lot of channels in this niche, but these are some like quick ones that I found that you can go look at. The way that I look at these is they're kind of pieces of art. They're really cool. Monetization potential, solid potential due to the engaging nature of stories, which keeps viewers watching longer. Sponsorships, opportunity, like there's just so many ways you can pretty much do sponsorship deals with almost anybody with these. That's what's cool, because you have a very engaging piece of content, so you can pretty much sell anything at that point. So I see everything kind of being sold with the brand deals. Same with affiliate marketing, merchandising. You know, I've actually seen like some of them where they turn the characters into merchandise as well. So that's pretty cool. Pros: high viewer engagement, emotional connection, versatility in the content, allowing for creativity and experimentation, ability to impact and inspire through powerful narratives. Cons: requires a strong content creation skills to maintain interest and quality. Story-based content can be time-consuming to produce. I see that happen a lot where people get into this niche and it takes them like a very long time to make these videos. So if you're someone that struggles with discipline and productivity, probably not the niche for you. If you're someone that's good with that stuff and good at setting deadlines and then hitting those deadlines, great niche. Most people that are artists are kind of like this mindset. They kind of struggle with consistency and like hitting deadlines. I've found the people don't have a lot of discipline and structure around their artistic ability, so it makes it very hard. So that's why I kind of struggle with it too, is like I get so lost in the weeds of like I can go like 30 different directions with a piece or something like that. If you're good at storytelling, great niche though. Risk of lower search traffic. Yeah, you're kind of creating trends almost. It's like, I agree with this. Like, you know, yeah. So my thoughts, why I like this niche: storytelling is a timeless art form that resonates on a fundamental human level. This niche offers the power to move, educate, and entertain, providing a profound way to connect with audiences across the globe. It allows for creative expression and the opportunity to bring lesser known or important narratives to the forefront. The future of storytelling, there's just a lot of stuff coming out in the future. There's also a growing appreciation for stories that highlight diverse voices and experiences, reflecting a broader societal move towards inclusivity and representation. I wouldn't say that's necessarily all of it, but yeah. Cool. It's very interesting. I think it's like as the world kind of grows, it's like getting a lot smaller, and this is kind of one of the ways that the world is getting smaller, is just these stories kind of like share all these different worldviews and perspectives, and they expand the average human being's worldviews and perspectives by the creation of more and more of this type of content. So last but not least, we made it to the last one. So I added this one for you guys if you're looking for another money grab, recaps. Now, I do see people make a lot of money with this in the long term. I also see a lot of people make a lot of money with this in the short term. This one's kind of like the public records niche that we talked about earlier. It's a great niche. You're going to face copyright claims with this one a little bit more, so you have to edit around it. You may face some shadow banning if you try to go to a little bit more edgier route. Overall, though, I know a lot of people that are making a ton of money with this. There are some 7-figure channels in this niche as well. So it can really cover anything. Like, I've been watching House of Dragons lately, and it's kind of cool. I found like a whole freaking niche of doing just House of Dragons or Game of Thrones content or other TV shows like that. It can go anything to like cartoons, to Marvel, to B movies that you've never heard of in your life, and so you never have to watch it. You get to watch these things. So to anime. This is a great niche. I have a lot of students that I've worked with in the past, just because it is Faceless YouTube, so a lot of people don't want to be on camera. They're more introverted. They want to do things that they like doing, which is watching movies or watching anime. And so this is a great niche for a lot of those people. So with the recaps, yeah, it's like helping people understand complex plot points, enjoy deeper insights on their favorite series or films, or if they miss any episodes and getting caught up on things. Or if they just never want to watch it, but they want to at least get the kind of quick dopamine hit of watching a summary of it of 20 minutes instead of spending 2 hours watching a movie, or like spending a week watching a show, they get to just watch the recaps. There's a lot of value that's provided to that. So there's always fan theories, there's always in-depth analysis, Easter egg revelations, and there's a lot of discussion that kind of is around stuff. So if you're kind of someone that's into that stuff, it's a great niche. Market demand very high. Target audience primarily consists of fans, but then also you have people that have never, might not have time to watch every episode, and they're just looking, or a movie, and they're just looking for someone to kind of provide that to them. So as well as the super fans that crave that deep engagement. So you kind of get both audiences when you make this content. Content ideas, episode by episode recaps. I've seen people do that, like especially for Game of Thrones or other popular TV series out there. Movie breakdowns, exploring themes, character arcs. Predictions for future episodes, comparison of original content. This one is like, this part right here is probably the ones that I see pretty often, but yeah, this as well. Like, I like it when they kind of, instead of just breaking it down play by play, scene by scene, what happens, I like the ones where they kind of break down the theme of it and the deeper meaning of everything that's being shown, and you kind of have like a, you get to walk away with something after watching the video. I kind of like that type of stuff, but obviously just go find what's working in the market. Here's some channels that are working. I try to give you a little bit of each. Just go on. There's a lot of, especially anime channels. There's like 30 or 40 of those. High saturated market, but you can definitely make a lot of money pretty quickly with that niche if you can figure out how to kind of get into the algorithm. Story, like movies, are pretty good too. I forget what these channels were. This was towards the end of my research, so yeah, this is just start watching one of them, watch a few of the videos, you'll get suggested a bunch of the other videos in the niche. So monetization potential, pretty good monetization with ad revenue, brand deals. There's definitely some stuff there, affiliate marketing, memberships, and Patreon. Yeah, you can't probably do a community as much with it, but you can do like this other ad revenues, like monetization with it. So pros and cons. Pros, consistently high demand, ability to build a loyal community of fans. I do see like once people get going, they get like minimum, like the floor of their views are 100,000 views a video pretty consistently. Some of these other niches, it's, the floor is very, like your average video is all over the place, but these channels I see people get very consistent audiences. Opportunities for creative content. Like, I like this thematic analysis type of stuff. It's maybe a little bit more advanced for the beginning, but cool strategy nonetheless. Cons, dependent on the release of schedule of shows, high competition, need to avoid spoilers that could alienate parts of the audience. I will say the other cons is if you're doing like anime or some of these like, more Korean publishing or Japanese publishing, some of these Japanese like publishing companies out there, or like media companies, whatever you want to call them, the publishers, they're assholes about copyright and they don't care, and they'll just tell YouTube to take your channel down, and they get really aggressive. So you have to be really conscious of the shows that you use if you use more Asian influenced movies and shows. So you have to be kind of careful of that. Just my recommendation, see what other people are doing. Try to cover kind of the same shows that they're doing, or at least kind of figure out who are the the publishers or whatever you would call it, the networks that own the rights to those shows, and then avoid the ones that they probably don't do because they probably don't do them for a reason. So there is a little bit of that I've seen. So why I like this niche, I think it's great for beginners. I have seen some people get shadow banned. If you just kind of have a long-term mindset with it, it does pretty well. It works very well for people that just are movie fans or anime fans. It's a pretty good niche. Trends and future opportunities, growing popularity. There's just so mmany movies these days too. It's like people don't have time to watch all this stuff. There's just too much taking your attention. So it's like it's a huge value add to YouTube and to people by making these videos, because so many people, there's just so much to watch and everybody doesn't have time for it. So that's what I got. There you have it. Is this a complete list by any means? No, there's a lot of niches that I left out. I kind of categorize some of them as well. This is the most comprehensible guide that I could give you guys. Again, my goal with this thing, my intentions were to at least kind of inform you kind of general practices and make it a little bit more timeless. There are stuff that are kind of flash in the pan that happen pretty often, and some of these niches kind of encapsulate those flash in the pan, and there might be some stuff that I'm missing, but this is a pretty good overview. This was pretty freaking timing. My laptop's about to die. So with that being said, if you want my team and I to help you build a successful Faceless YouTube channel with you, below this video, there'll be a thing to go apply and book a call with my team and I. I've helped a lot of people do this. If you just want us to help you just get things done right the first time, that's what this is perfect for. I gave you a bunch of information in here. You can go and do your own thing. But if you just want to get results and have us literally show you how to do everything and get you there as fast as humanly possible, go down below, apply. And if you apply, qualify, book a call with my team, and you go on with my team, we'll have a no BS call. We'll just get straight to the point with you about how we do things and if it makes sense for us to work together. We are really good. We're the best in the industry with helping people build Faceless YouTube channels. And so if you just want the best of the best to help you do this, then that's what that's for. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of the content on this channel on Canup Become Viral. I have a bunch of other videos, and they're honestly really freaking solid, and I'll be making some more content. And yeah, that's what I got. Thanks for watching. See if we can end with balloons, confetti. See you guys. Thank you.